Do your friends always see you? See what you're going through? Maybe some days you just look happy, but inside you are not. Do people notice that? Or do they kind of just pass by you? How are you? I'm good. Okay, yeah, fine. Do you always notice? Is everybody around you okay? Or is just somebody just looks okay, but inside they are not? Your friends, your mom, your dad, your brother or sister. You know, one day Abu Hurraira, who was a companion of Prophet Muhammad SAW, was very, very hungry. So hungry, he said, it's like his stomach was sticking to his back. Some days he used to get so hungry that he would tie a stone on his belly, just trying to make it feel like there's something in it, and there wasn't. So one day he was so hungry, he just went and sat by the road, hoping that maybe somebody would notice him sitting there and invite him for a meal. They will notice how hungry he is and invite him for a meal. So he was sitting on the side of the road. And guess who he sees coming? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is coming. That's it, you know, he's the man. He's so generous. He's going to invite me and I'm gonna have a meal, inshallah. So he sees him coming, but Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is going by. He said, okay, you know, I'm gonna go and ask him a question. Then surely he will notice while he's talking to me that I'm hungry. So he just goes and asks him a question. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu answers his question and goes away. He doesn't notice that how hungry Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu. Obviously it wasn't that obvious, and he didn't want to beg anybody. You can see that he didn't want to beg anybody, so he was just hoping somebody would notice. So then he was like, oh no, the only reason I asked the question was so he notices me, but he didn't. So he's kind of disappointed. He sits there. But then he sees Umar radiallahu anhu coming. That's it, you know, Umar radiallahu anhu is sure to notice him. So he thinks, okay, maybe I'm gonna go and ask him a question and then he will notice me surely and invite me for a meal. So he goes and asks Umar radiallahu anhu a question. Umar answers the question and goes away. Again, he doesn't notice how hungry Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu. And now again Abu Huraira is so disappointed, you know, man. The only reason I asked the question was not because I wanted an answer, but because I was hungry. And I was hoping he would notice me, but he didn't. So he went back and sitting on the road, disappointed. Then Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by. And as soon as the Prophet Muhammad saw the face of Abu Huraira, he asked him, are you hungry, Abu Huraira? And he said, come with me. He took him with him for a meal. Subhanallah. That was a Prophet Muhammad. He didn't just pass by people ignoring them or like, you know, kind of half the attention here and half somewhere else, but he really saw people, what they're going through. When he heard people, he really heard. He really listened to them. He was really interested in hearing what they have to say. Not like, yeah, hello, okay, yeah, you know, but I'm thinking about it like 1,000 other things that are on my mind. No, of course, nobody's busier than him. He has so many things on his mind, obviously. He's the leader of the city, the Prophet of Allah. He has so many worries in his mind. He is so busy. So many people want to meet him. But when he met people, when he saw people, when he talked to people, he didn't just pass them by. He saw them. He really saw them. He talked to them. He was interested in them. He really listened to them. Even children playing on the street, when he would pass them by, he would stop and say salams to them. He would greet the children. Normally what would people, it's just children, who's gonna greet the children, right? Just children praying. But the Prophet Muhammad gave that respect even to the children. He would say salams to them. One of the companions, who was very young at that time of Prophet Muhammad said, the Prophet used to inquire about our pet bird. How's your bird doing? The Prophet of Allah, the chief of the city, used to come and inquire about their bird. That is how wonderful, caring, merciful our Prophet Muhammad was. When he would talk to somebody, he would actually turn his body towards the person talking to him, giving them his full attention. When somebody used to shake his hand, he would never be the first person to pull his hand away, like, enough, you have shaken my hand enough. No, he would let them hold their hand. That was the Prophet Muhammad SAW. He was a caring, kind, generous man towards everybody he met, whether they were his friends, whether they were just strangers, or whether they were his enemies. Do you want to learn more about all these small stories and details about Prophet Muhammad Saisam's life, which give us a glimpse on what kind of a man our Prophet Muhammad Saisam was? You know, a lot of the time we study the seerah and study the big incidents in his life, and we miss out on these small details of what were the things that made him smile, what were the things that made him cry, what made him laugh, what made him angry, who are his, how was he with his friends, what did he do when he hangs out with his friends, how did he celebrate, so much more. If you do want to learn, so you can grow your love for the Prophet in your heart, make it stronger, so he is more beloved to you than anybody else, even your best friends, then come and join me in As If You Can See Him course.